hackers. They find their way into every freaking game, those sleazy sons of... Oops, wait, sorry, I can't say that. But can you really blame me? I mean, like, the minute a new game is released, hackers just swarm. They're like bees when you attack their freaking hive, and they try to find some way to exploit the game as fast as possible. In terms of all games, Call of Duty Mobile is no exception. It's a competitive game, it's bound to have hackers. It is better than other games. I mean, I'm sure we can name quite a few of them that are just completely filled with hackers. Call of Duty does a good job, but it does have a hacker problem, and we have to realize that. I mean, just look at some of these videos that come up when you search Call of Duty hack on YouTube. It's just ridiculous. So, for the legit players out there, you know who you are. How do you spot those hackers? They're pretty crafty with what they do. They make what they do under the radar. And a lot of times you never even know that the person that you squatted up with, is that a word? I'm going to say it's a word, actually was a hacker. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is giving you all 10 different ways you can spot hackers in Call of Duty Mobile. You definitely want to stay until the end because some of the last ones that I mentioned just go completely over the head. I never even knew these were ways you can never find hackers in this game. Now, just real quick here, please, okay, before we actually jump into this, I know a lot of hackers are going to come to this video and they're going to be like, oh my god, he's exposing us. We have to dislike it to make his video never show up in the search results. We can't have that. So for the legit players out there, please, if you're watching this, all I ask is if you could just please leave a like on this video. Takes just a second, but it beats the hackers, right? One like equals one slap in the face to all the hackers out there. And to be honest, I would love to slap a hacker in the face. Oh boy, that's really gonna rile them up. I'm gonna need your help, guys. But yeah, subscribe for more Call of Duty content just like this. And with that being said, let's get into the video. Alrighty then, guys. So to start things off, I thought I'd warm us up by mentioning something that I think a lot of you guys may breeze over a lot of the time. Like, it goes completely under the radar. This is regarding Battle Royale. How many of you ever jump into a random squads match and one of your teammates gets absolutely insane loot literally 5 seconds after they land right from the very beginning? Of course, yeah, I get it. Like, a lot of times that's entirely luck, right? But it is something you might want to watch out for. There are programs out there, I've seen them with my own eyes, that people can get on either a jailbroken iOS device or a rooted Android device that allows them to see where all the loot is in a Battle Royale match. I'm talking flying over the map and icons show up on the map where the best loot is. It's crazy. Now, of course, it's hard to tell for sure if someone is hacking this way, especially in a random lobby. Because, I mean, maybe the person truly was lucky. And, I mean, what are you going to do? What, are you going to question the guy how well he did on his last match? No, of course not. This would be more for people that you go into multiple matches with over and over. If they keep finding the same OP loot over and over again, you might want to keep an eye on them. Continuing on, though, another common way hackers exploit video games is by using something called aimbots. If you've been living under a rock and you don't know what aimbot is, let me explain, okay? It's a script that they enable in their game that gives them 100% accuracy no matter the distance. Now, they're not dumb when they do this, right? And especially when they're in a team, they're going to try their best to make it look like they're playing legit so they don't get reported by their teammates. But after a little bit, you'll start to notice some weird things about those players. I'm talking like, you know, like, look at a weapon like the MSMC, right? And that's kind of a difficult weapon to control recoil with. I mean, I at least think that. I'm a noob. Maybe it's not for other people, but I certainly wouldn't be using that thing at long range. But if your teammate is always able to go full auto with that thing and kill someone all the way across the map with it, chances are they may be a hacker. Next up, the third way you can tell if someone is a hacker is by looking at how fast they're able to fire single mode or burst mode weapons. Now this one, I mean, I thought it's pretty obvious, right? Maybe you guys didn't know this, but like, obviously, you can't tap the screen on a phone as fast as someone could, you know, have some type of program on their computer where they have, like, the mouse click at infinite speed, right? There are things out there that people can download that simulate a mouse click, right? And when they're emulating Call of Duty Mobile on their computer, they can have it click, like, 40 times a second, right? And they can basically fire like 10 times faster than anybody would be able to fire a burst mode weapon just by tapping the screen. So you might want to watch out and see if someone is like firing single mode or burst mode insanely fast, that might be a hacker. Next up, though, the fourth thing that you might want to look out for if you're trying to spot a hacker in a video game like Call of Duty Mobile is something that is so infamous. It's probably one of the very first hacks out there. It's speed hacks. Yes, speed hacks. I'm sure you might have thought that only existed in racing games, right? Like Mario Kart. You got that noob that decided, oh, I'm going to put 200% speed on and race with Mario and win against Donkey Kong and Funky Kong. No. Okay, people can do that in Call of Duty Mobile too, right? They can turn on that speed hack and they can make themselves fly across the map at 600 miles an hour like they drank 16 Red Bulls and they snorted. Actually, I'm not going to say what I was about to say. You guys probably can get what I'm trying to say there. Trying to not get my video demonetized. But I mean, like, okay, if you see somebody running super fast, then that could probably be a hacker. I mean, there's not really anything that makes you run that much faster than, you know, maybe like one perk or something like that. So yeah, if somebody's running insanely fast, that would be a hacker. Next up, though, the fifth thing is something that you might not actually realize, something that might, you know, go under the radar a lot of times. And if you encounter somebody that has a blank username, that actually might be a hacker. You think about it, okay, I like to make hackers pretty stupid people. I like to paint the picture that it's some chubby 6-year-old sitting in his mother's office chair who's been eating too much Doritos and is touching his phone screen with dirty orange fingers. No, okay, some of these people are pretty intelligent and they're going to realize if they have a very unique username, then somebody's going to remember that and then they're going to report them later on, right? But if you just have a blank username or like a really generic username, then how is somebody going to remember that? They're not, right? And unless they report the person right there in the match, they're going to forget by probably the next match, and that person's going to be okay. So if you see somebody with a blank username, be a little bit skeptical about that because that could be somebody that plans on hacking in your match. But oh dear Lord, the last 5 are even more insane, and I don't know why hackers even want to do this. So here's something that a lot of inexperienced hackers do. I hope hackers don't watch this video because they might try to correct this and you might see less people doing this. But on several occasions, I have jumped into Battle Royale matches and I've just watched an enemy player or maybe even somebody on my team, right? And it looks like it's very robotic. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, sometimes the person's character just, like, zigzags left and right and back and forward, sometimes randomly shoots, and that is a characteristic that a lot of newbie hackers have, right? You're, like, a first-time hacker, and you decide to turn on, like, auto-tracking mode, and they actually automatically go toward the nearest enemy player. So, if you encounter somebody doing, like, robotic movements, that's probably because it's a hacker and they're trying to walk toward the nearest player with some type of system enabled that does that. A lot of times it's not. A lot of times it might just be a noob, but you never freaking know. You might want to question them about it, okay? But moving on here, the seventh thing that you can use to pretty easily tell if someone is hacking in your match is if that player always finds the enemies. Now, this might be a little bit more obvious in Battle Royale, but if you jump into a duos or squads match, right, and that person on your team always knows where the people are, right? He's like, bro, oh, I think over by launch there's 6 people, right? And he just runs there, even though your team was originally planning to go somewhere else. Yeah, that might be a hacker because they can tell where the enemies are, right? It's kind of like the last thing that I mentioned where they have this auto-tracking on. They can see through walls. They know where the enemies are, right? All of that stuff can be enabled, and that could be somebody who hacks and sees where enemy players are, even when they're not supposed to. We're sort of getting close to the end here, but hey, we still have 3 more. The 8th thing that you might want to use as a way to detect if somebody is a hacker is if that person is getting constant kill streaks, okay? I'm not gonna call out like some pro YouTuber here who gets like constant kill streaks, right? Obviously that person plays for hours at a day. Dare I say they might not have much of a life. My voice cracked when I said that, so that kind of didn't give the same effect, but whatever, it's fine, okay? I'm trying to call out the people that hack and they have like, 10 kill streaks instantly because they have damage hacks and the aimbot and God mode and stuff like that, right? Generally, hackers are not very good players. That's the reason why they hack. because they suck at the game. So if you see somebody getting consistent kill streaks over and over and over again, especially in a competitive lobby where there are a lot of other really good players, just be a little bit skeptical about it, right? Especially if it's somebody that you've never seen before, just some unknown player. That might be a hacker. And second to last now, the ninth thing that you might want to use as a way to find out hackers and bring justice to the Call of Duty community once again is to start questioning them, right? If you saw all of the things that I mentioned earlier, right? You saw somebody who was spazzing out and shooting randomly, somebody that was running faster than normal, and you thought, hold up, that's a little bit questionable. Then you might want to start questioning them in the voice chat. Now, of course, that's not going to really mean a whole lot, but a lot of times, somebody who's hacking or doing something wrong is going to feel like really sheepish. They're going to be scared. They're not going to want to respond. And if you say something like, "Oh, bro, how'd you find the best loot 2 seconds into the match?" they might not respond because they don't have a response. They're going to say, "Oh, I hacked." But why would you say that? Because you're going to reveal what you're doing. So they might just never turn voice control on. And yeah, that might be a way to detect if somebody is a hacker. But hey, before you start like reporting everybody that doesn't have voice chat on, you have to like see them doing the other things first. I'm talking the aimbot, the speed hack, stuff like that, right? Like, don't just report somebody because they didn't have voice chat on, because you don't have enough to go off of. You have to combine that with other things, and that way you can actually find a potential legitimate hacker. And we're right here at the very end. If you stayed until the end, you're in for a treat, because this is something that is so OP, you never even knew it actually existed. If you see somebody who has some type of account name in their username, I'm talking like a phone number or an email or something like that, no one would just normally do that, right? I mean, there's maybe a couple of idiots out there that have their phone number as their username. Please, for the love of God, if you have your phone number as your username and you're watching this video right now, change it. You don't want a bunch of creepy calls from 65-year-old old men, okay? Just don't do it. It's not a fun time, okay? I've been there. I've done that. I've not actually done that. I've just been there, okay? Let me be very clear. But yeah, what these people do is they have like their phone number in their username, right? And then they say, "Oh, I'm selling premium hacks, okay? Call my phone number, text my phone number, and I can give you guys the details." Or they have their email saying the same thing, right? So just be observant, you know, maybe that person isn't actively selling at the moment, but if they have their account as their username, then just question them about it, right? It doesn't hurt. You're just wondering why the heck they have their phone number as their username. And if they are a legitimate player, right, who's not doing anything wrong, you might want to tell them to change that, because that's just a good thing to do for security purposes. But, yeah. And with that being said, that basically wraps things up for today's video. So, real quick here, I want you guys to go down below in the comments and let me know, honestly, which of these you already knew and which of these were completely new to you. Like, you never even considered they were actually ways to spot hackers in this game. I can know for me, personally, several of these I never knew about. I mean, like the phone number one? Who thinks of that, right? But a couple of days ago, I was in a match, and some kid was in the intercom in the voice chat saying, "Hey guys, you see the number in my username? That's my phone number. Text me if you want premium hacks. They're cheap. They're $5. I don't actually know. I don't remember how much he was charging for them, but this guy was literally selling hacks by using his username as his phone number. I mean, that's just crazy to me. So watch out for these people here. Plus, I would guarantee most of the time the people that are actually doing this are going to take your money and never even give you what you purchased. So, yeah, be warned. And yeah, with that being said, that's it though. Leave a like if you learned something new. I would greatly appreciate it. Took a long time to make this video, but hey, any support really helps. Subscribe to the channel for more Call of Duty Mobile content. And with that being said, we're out of time. I'll see you all later.